This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening everyone. Shalom Aleichem. We continue in the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. We're up to Ois Nun Beis, which is the last Ois of Tuesday, the last Ois of Yom Shlishi. Now remember, Ois Nun Aleph was do not forget. Do not forget about death. Even though there was a command in Ois Lamed Beis to remember death, this is a lav not to forget it. Don't forget it could happen suddenly. And always have in your mind the haunting image of the din v'cheshbon one has to give after 120. The Rosh says in Ois Nun Beis, Al tis'asek b'mitzvah k'dei lekabel pras. Do not engage in a mitzvah to receive pras. V'al tirchak minhu averos mipnei ha'onesh. Do not distance yourself from sin because of punishment. Simply, the Rosh is saying, don't serve God for reward. Don't refrain from sin because of punishment. Rak avoid me'ahava. Serve Hashem out of love. This is reminiscent of the Mishnah Perkei Avos. Antignois ish soicha kiba mishem natzadik hu haya omer al tiyu ka'avodim ha'misham shenes harav al manas l'kabel pras ela hevu ka'avodim ha'misham shenes harav shaloi al manas l'kabel pras. Don't be a servant that serves his master to receive reward, but rather be like a servant that serves his master not to receive reward, meaning serve Hashem out of love. And therefore the Rosh says, Rak avoid me'ahava, serve Hashem out of love. Now what's the connection to what he said in Ois Nun Aleph? In Ois Nun Aleph he said, never forget about the day of death, never forget it could happen suddenly, always have in mind the frightful image of giving the accounting after 120. So one would think, okay, that should always be my motivation. I'm always motivated because the person never knows when they will die. Person is always thinking it could happen suddenly. Person's always remembering the din v'cheshbon. So one might say that should be my main impetus for avodas Hashem. No, the Rosh is reminding us that yira of the fear of death should only be used to humble one's heart and to disengage from taiva and to elevate and to magnify one's nefesh, says Rabbi Tzalel Zolti. But in terms of what should be one's most motivating factor, one's modus operandi, one's day-to-day inspiration, it should be Avas Hashem. Now, the Rambam, in Parak Yod and Hilchos Tshuva, Rav Goldberg quotes, says a person should not say, I'll do mitzvahs, I'll learn Torah, to be mekabel all the brachos, haksubas v'Torah, or to get olam haba. Or a person shouldn't say that I'm not going to do averos because I don't want to be cut off from olam haba. So this is the well-known sheet of the Rambam. The Rambam in the Perush HaMishnayos on Avos, al tiyu ka'avodim ha'misham shenes harav al manas l'kabel pras. The Rambam learns, do not serve Hashem to get olam haba. Do not refrain from sin out of fear of punishment. It's interesting, Rav Goldberg asks, because the Rambam in the Sefer HaMitzvos, in Mitzvah Dalet, he writes, we're commanded to believe in the fear of God and to be in pachad from before Him, not to be like a koifer that walks callously, but we should always be afraid of Hashem. So we see there's a mitzvah of Yirah Shamayim, so why is the Rambam saying don't serve Hashem out of fear? It's a mitzvah in the Torah. How can you say don't fear Hashem? What do you mean don't fear Hashem? The answer is, of course, we have to always be cognizant of Hashem's presence and of the possibility that a person sins, there's punishment. But in B'Payel, one should not say, I'm doing the mitzvah for schar, I'm not doing the avera because of oynesh. Of course I'm afraid of oynesh. But that's not why I'm not doing the avera. I'm not doing the avera because I love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now it's very interesting, there's a major machlokes between all the Mefarshim and the Abarbanel. The Rosh seems to be siding with the Rambam, and that is when the Mishnah says, Al tiyu ka'avodim ha'misham shenes harav al manas l'kabel pras, don't serve Hashem to get reward. The Rambam says that means don't serve God for olam haba. Serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu out of love for Him. Pras means Olam Haba. And the Abarbanel says all the Mefarshim agree with the Rambam. Not me, says the Abarbanel. The Abarbanel says if the Mishnah was saying don't serve Hashem for reward, it should say Al Tiyu Kavadim Shanzam Nas Kabel Schar. Pras refers to a prize of Olam Hazeh. Don't say that you're serving Hashem so Hashem should give you money in this world. Don't say you're serving Hashem that Hashem should give you health in this world. No. Pras, says Abarbanel, is a prize in this world. But for Olam Haba, Avada, you have to serve Hashem for Olam Haba. It's a good thing to think about. It should motivate you. That should be a reason to serve Hashem. So it's all the Mefarshim gang up against Abarbanel. The Rambam says, no, Amanasa Kabel Pras means don't serve God on condition to get reward. Comes Rabbi Eliyahu Hakohein of Izmir. Yes, Izmir is in Turkey. In many of his Svarim, in the Sefer Medrash Ha'itamri, in the Sefer Me'il Tzedakah, in the Sefer Einei Ha'eda, in this week's Parsha, in the Sefer Adaras Eliyahu Masechta Brachos, in his commentary to Pirkei Rabbi Lezer, V'loi Oid Ella, in his commentary to Yalkut Shimoni, Yadoi Ba'Koel, and he says regarding this Machlokes Hasvara Noite K'Rabbi Yitzchak Abarbanel, regarding this Machlokes, logic is inclined to say that we paskin like the Abarbanel, one should serve Hashem for Olam Haba. And he reads it into a few psukim. In Tehillim it says, B'tach b'Hashem, trust in God, va'asei tov, and do good. Have trust in God that He's going to do good for you in Olam Haba. And if you're going to say, who knows who the halacha is like, whether you're allowed to serve Hashem for Olam Haba? The answer, David HaMelech says, Shechoin Eretz Re'ei Emunah. When you get upstairs, you'll find out that the halacha is like the Abarbanel, that you could serve Hashem al manasa kabel schar. Not al manasa kabel pras, but al manasa kabel schar. The Sefer Me'il Tzedakah reads the pasuk in Mishlei, Roidev Tzedakah v'chesed, one who runs after charity and kindness, Yimtza Chaim will get Olam Haba, v'kavoid, and honor in Olam Hazeh. Why does it first say Olam Haba and then Olam Hazeh? To teach that your real motivation, your first motivation, should be Olam Haba, like the opinion of the Abarbanel. And L'soif kavod yavai. Lamaisa, it's pretty academic, this machlokes, because in our generation, on our level, I heard from Rav Victor Miller, Zechasag Lavracha, halavai we should serve Hashem for Olam Haba. So even if you want to be a machmir like the Rambam, no, I don't want to serve Hashem for Olam Haba. That's if you lived 1,000 years ago. If you live 1,000 years ago, then you could go like the Rambam. But if you're alive today, I don't know. You have to figure out when you live. If you're living 1,000 years ago, if you're living today. But if you decide, yes, in fact, I am alive today, then the Rav Miller said, halavai, if only we would serve Hashem to get Olam Haba. Okay, Rabbi Isai, thanks everyone for listening. Bez Hashem, tomorrow we will start Yom Revi. We will start Yom Revi on Yom Revi. You see the hashgacha? It's unbelievable. We'll start Yom Revi on Yom Revi. Take care, everyone. Have a great night. Kol tov.
Thank you.
Bye.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.